everybody. This is Amanda Monroe with the Belle to Belle with Amanda Monroe podcast. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the Belle to Belle podcast. I would absolutely love to get comments, get feedback from you guys. Let me know who you want to see on the show. And today I am very, very excited to introduce a wrestling fan to everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Kakeface Karlee. Karlee, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So for those that don't know who you are, kind of give a little bit of an introduction about yourself, kind of how you're connected to wrestling and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm Karlee, 33, single mom. I've been a wrestling fan since I was, 4 years old. Started with WCW and really fell in love with people like Rey Mysterio, Sting, DDP, Eddie Guerrero. And it just kind of evolved from there. Then going over to WWF and WWE, falling in love with Triple H, the Hardy Boys. And then as I progressed more and more, I fell in love with more of the independence and the ultra violent scene. And that's what I like to talk about and promote now, on my TikTok and my Instagram. And yeah, I just love it all. And I love spreading the word about everything in the independence and the deathmatch scene.
Is there one match that you can remember that kind of hooked you, whether it was when you were a kid or a little bit later on?
Ooh, I don't know if it was a match, but I think for a moment was because when I started watching was right around when NWO really fully started, and just how captivating that was as a kid, and seeing wow, this is really intense, and just seeing that, I think that really hooked me. But then, seeing their storylines with people like Sting and, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio in 97, Halloween Havoc, that's another big one. Yeah, I mean, that I think definitely WCW was what really hook, line, and sinker for eternity now.
Yeah, exactly. And I love that you brought up the storylines too. My saying is I'm a sucker for a good storyline.
Yes.
But I think that, you could do the wrestling and I have, the match that kind of got me, but unless you're actually invested in what these people are doing, it's really hard to I think kind of really want to watch the wrestling part without the story. And I know some people can do it with no problem. So what I really want to get into today is I understand from the TikToks that I have seen you are a deathmatch girl.
I am, most definitely.
So tell me, okay, because I have to admittedly say, I can watch death matches. I'm not a huge fan, but I gotta know what made you kind of into a deathmatch fan? Was there one match, or was it just kind of you organically went there?
Well, I think first just that little bit of taste when I was a kid, and when I started watching WWF, WWE was around that time when they had the Hardcore Championship. And that was also around the time too where, I would kind of get poked and prodded at of oh, well, wrestling's fake. You shouldn't be da-da-da. And it's oh yeah, well, look what these guys are doing. You can't say, because when you're a kid, you can't formulate, no, it's predetermined, so you just trying to well, yeah, look at that. But I didn't, admittingly, I was a little sheltered wrestling wise. I was just within, either WCW at the beginning or WWE from a good majority of me watching until TNA, became in my wheelhouse. And but when I finally started getting into more of the ultra violent and really seeing, wait a minute, there's something, what I'm looking for is called, this is what I'm looking for. I think it was when I was starting to become a fan of Jon Moxley when he was in WWE, and I realized as he was Dean Ambrose, before that he was Jon Moxley, and I was who is this guy? He's great in the ring. And I was like, oh, I noticed like, you know, Combat Zone Wrestling, CZW, in his work there. And I was like, okay, he used to do the stuff that I'm looking for. And I just found more promotions like that. And then fell in love with people like Matt Tremont, Nick Gage, Sick Nick Mondo, Masada. And it just kind of stemmed from there. At one point, I really wasn't allowed to like really like venture, even as an adult, because of an ex I was with. You know, he just wanted to be like, well, if you're gonna watch more than just like WWE and AEW, it's like, well, just make it this. Otherwise, you're watching so much, and it's like, man. But
Nothing wrong with watching a lot.
exactly. But being able to like really broaden my horizons and like seeing stuff on like IWTV and stuff like that, really being able to like, oh, there's so much deathmatch stuff out there. And now it's just, I soak it in like a sponge. And I love the work behind it and like literally the blood, sweat, and tears put into it. I mean, and how much care. I mean, even though it doesn't show it, you know, because I mean, they're being each other bloody, for goodness sake. So like,
Right.
but there's so much respect and care put into that, and just like the dynamic between the two people, and even just people setting up, you know, for whatever type of match it is. It's, you know, it's just an all-person job. I mean, it just, there's so much love. It's really an art form. So that's why instead of just having, because everyone's going to have their cup of tea, and that's completely fine. Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, if you don't like deathmatch wrestling, then you suck. You know what I mean? Because everyone's going to have their comfy spot with wrestling, and that's totally okay. But what I like to do is just kind of show that, you know, there is a beauty to the chaos and the madness, you know, and that's why I have a painting back here that says ultraviolence is art, because that's truly how I feel. So I love being able to entertain and kind of educate people with the world of deathmatch wrestling.
I have to say, if there's one thing, because I have seen a deathmatch in person, and it was Jon Moxley, and I want to say it was Jimmy Jacobs. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay.
But I think if I can appreciate anything about death matches is no matter what, my jaw drops every time.
Oh, absolutely.
What was crazy about the Moxley death match is that my friend and I, who is a huge Jon Moxley fan, shout out to Nicole, we were in the front row. And just watching it, and like I'm just staring at blood stains, like blood spots, like run in front of my face. I'm like, wow. And like, I can't imagine like what's going through a wrestler's head as they're doing that. Like, can they even tell that they're bleeding unless it's right in front of their face? But I can understand like the appeal of it, and just the, like you said, the art of it. And how there's a lot. I mean, obviously, I know the things that go on, you know, behind the scenes with regular wrestling matches, but when you're going into a death match, that's just a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
Is there one death match that stands out to you, or maybe a few?
Well, I will say this: when someone asks like, what's one that you really want to start with, that you're going to get that raw emotion of a storyline feel without even having the storyline, and just amazing professional wrestling, is what was the event? It was ICW No Holds Barred, NHB, I think maybe 63 or 64. It was Atticus Cogar going against the Process, MM3, or Malcolm Monroe the third. You know, he's a third generation talent. Both men are, it was like the match was literally like flowed like water, and one would do, I mean, it was just take and response. It was just so beautiful, and adding the death match aspect to it, it just, you know, made it 10 times. So I always recommend that one for people, as one of my favorites. Another one that was recently one that happened at a brand a promotion called X Brand Wrestling. They had a tournament called Wicked 13, and it was to determine their the inaugural X Core champion, and it was a match between Mickey Knuckles and Nick Gage. Seeing them in the ring like together for the first time, and it was just like fireworks. So
Every time you mention Nick Gage, I'm like, I don't know if that man has a bad wrestling match on his resume. I really don't think he does.
I mean, he's definitely had a few where, I mean, he is actually been what's the word, technically dead for a little bit. And, I mean, he's done it all, and now he's kind of stepped away to go on like a healing journey with recovery and everything, and I'm just so proud of him. I mean, he's literally done it all. I mean,
Yeah.
when they say he is the excuse my language, but the god of this shit, I mean, they definitely mean it. Like, he is literally done it all, especially like within the American deathmatch scene. 100%.
I mean, you can't really go anywhere talking about death matches and not talk about Nick Gage and Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
Like, you just can't. Is there, although I'm sure you've seen plenty of death matches, is there one bump or something that they do during a death match, whether, like, for example, for me, it's anything to do with barbed wire, that just kind of makes you go, oh my gosh, ow.
So, funny enough, because I mean, like you said, I mean, I'm down like to watch, even like people who take bumps with like gusset plates and stuff like that. And sometimes they can be just god awful with like the trickling and stuff. For me, I think it's anything of, if you're putting something through someone's mouth is like, ooh, sometimes that's a lot. Like Drew Parker did a few times with quite a few different people, but I saw initially with him going against Emerson Jane, and he did crisscross with 2 darts through her cheeks, and essentially giving her like dimple piercings and that kind of stuff. Or like, if anything with anyone that has any modifications, like if you're putting something through like a stretched ear, or at the GCW House of Horrors show, the main event, which blew my mind because I love Charles Mason and Atticus Cogar, of course. One of the things that Charles did to Atticus, he ended up, because Atticus has his septum stretched.
Okay.
He ended up somehow taking it out and put skewers through and was lifting them. Like, it's that type of stuff that kind of gives me the willies, which, among anything else, which is wild to now think about and hearing that out loud. It's like, oh yeah, you can handle fire or barbed wire and light tubes and stuff, but just the little things, I guess it's like, ooh, God.
Yeah, I can handle all that, but it's like, if it's something that's wrapped in barbed wire, like if you're gonna bump it on a barbed wire table or use a barbed wire bat, that's one of those. It's just like, oh my gosh, ow.
Oh, especially when they get stuck, for sure.
Yeah. So, are there any deathmatch guys / girls? I'll include both in this scenario, that you're like, they need to be somewhere higher than the indies. Other than Jon Moxley, obviously, because now he's
well, one who's already making waves, of course, Atticus Cogar. I think he's still a part of the WWE ID program. If not, he was at one point. I know I mentioned him earlier too, but Malcolm Monroe III, he is just very, very talented, very fluid in the ring. I actually just interviewed this guy, Jeff Shock. I could see him in places like MLW, TNA, even AEW for him. As far as women,
that was gonna be my next question. You read my mind.
Oh yeah. For the women, for sure, Mickey Knuckles. I mean, at one point she was in TNA, but her time got cut short. If I'm not mistaken, it was because of a knee something with her leg type of injury. I would love to see her go to TNA. That would be awesome to see her there. I would love to even see Angel Metro. She does indie work as well as deathmatch work. Tara Zepp is great. An Aussie girl, her name is Vixen. She's goes by the Absolute Menace. She's become one of my new favorite deathmatch people in general. She is just absolutely entertaining, incredible, really knows how to draw a crowd and cause a scene. Like, she is amazing. Gosh, there's just so many people that I could recommend for them to be up higher, because I mean, they all deserve a chance, honestly.
Yeah, and you're giving me like a lot of other people to check out too. Because again, like I said before, to me, I don't think there's such a thing as watching too many different styles of wrestling. And
100%.
deathmatch is just another one of those. So interesting question kind of here. If you were in a bar fight, who would you want to be tagging with?
Ooh. Well, two people.
Okay.
One, even though I guess he wouldn't technically be like deathmatch, even though he does a lot of ultra violent stuff. Mance Warner, 100%,
Oh yeah.
100%.
Yep.
He has such a mean hand on him, and even just when they do like the stereotypical like bar fights and like matches and stuff, like he'll just smack the hell out of some people, and it's insane. Mickey Knuckles would definitely have to be another one. One called Manders would be good too. He does really good chest chops. He could really lay somebody out.
I love watching one called Manders. He is
He's
another
so good.
fantastic one. Like really, really fantastic. So what are some indie wrestling companies or promotions that you are a fan of right now?
I guess with the regular independents, like Game Changer Wrestling is always putting on great stuff, and they have a little bit of everything for everybody. If you're looking for your, good wrestling 101 type of matches, you can get that. There's Lucha Libre, there you have your ultra violent stuff, you have your storylines. I mean, they have it all there. Um House of Glory is a great one. Um, I guess for more of the ultra violent side, ICW No Holds Barred, absolutely incredible. X Brand Wrestling, another amazing company. Um, Ruthless Pro, even though they're going to be ending shortly.
Oh,
Um, those would be like, I guess, like my main favorites. CZW is another great one that I like to watch.
there's so many.
There's so many.
And,
I
and
think
I
those are like my main wheelhouse, and then I'll add, like We Love Wrestling, which is they do some of like Midwest and like East Coast type of guys there, and yeah, just lots of great stuff. TWE is another great one too. They're in Tennessee. Amazing, amazing promotion.
Okay. I feel like there's a lot of, I don't know if I'm thinking more Tennessee or more Texas, but there's just so many, like even in that area of
Yes.
Tennessee
And even
that,
another one, Loco Wrestling is another amazing one too. They have a lot of great, they'll align themselves with the ultra violent side and Lucha Libre and just everything. It's awesome.
yeah, that's great. I agree. Is there any, and kind of outside of death matches, is there any I guess female wrestling talent that you kind of again want to see go up in, even under the WWE ID program? I always know that this is a really hard question because there's so many, but are there any that really stick out in your mind?
One, absolutely, which is kind of unfortunate because of some allegations that have come out about her.
Mhm.
Because she is by far like my favorite female wrestler of all time, and that's the Russian Dynamite Masha Slamovich.
Mhm.
A lot of stuff came out about her, which I mean really tore my heart. I mean, because just with her accolades alone, I mean, just from a young age, she was just a walking accomplishment maker. She could literally go anywhere, everywhere. I mean, top star. I mean, if she wanted to, she could even do WWE. I mean, anywhere, AEW, literally the sky is the limit for her. But unfortunately, after all of the stuff that came out, I kind of seen less and less of her, and
Mhm.
there's really no denying, or it's just kind of a blank statement of, you know, so it was just like, man. Besides Masha, um, another one, like I say, she does like a lot of independent work too, is Angel Metro. She's great. She is great. She is very well rounded. Um, has a very very promising future with her too. I think those would be like the main two that it's like, oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and that's another one. There's just so many.
Yes.
So, which is a good problem to have, I think.
Oh,
Um,
definitely.
so I guess on that note, it's really kind of interesting to see how social media has changed wrestling.
Yeah.
Like we said with the allegations with Masha. Do you think that's for the good or the detriment of wrestling in general?
Honestly, I see it as a double-edged sword because I mean,
Mhm.
on one side with the social media, I mean, you're able to see, even if you're in one side of the country and there's an independent like thing that you want to check out, you can, just because of social media and being able to see all the types of, wrestling that's, through social media. But at the same time, there's, even just within the wrestling community, like the fans, um, sometimes they'll, even if it's something that there's no truth to it or anything, it's just one like hair of thing. It's like, oh, like I'm gonna take this and run with it, and I'm gonna make sure and ruin this, or like let's all like, oh, screw this company or screw that company or whatever, or just like that tribalistic behavior. That's absolutely the downside of
Yeah.
social media. And even just like if there's like spoilers or like, oh, this the outcome of Raw was leaked, it's like, come on, man, that's so
Mhm.
lame. Like that shouldn't be a thing. It's like, we obviously we're adults now, we get it, it's predetermined and stuff, but like that has to, like, now you're reading the story to us. We took the book from you,
Yeah.
like,
Well,
so
I think it ruins surprises too.
absolutely, yeah.
There's not a whole lot of surprises anymore. I think the last one that I can really remember, CM Punk maybe, but the last one I
Yeah.
really remember where I was like my jaw was on the floor was when Edge came out at the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. That was just like huge surprise, especially
Yes.
with everything with him.
Yeah. And I think, yeah, social media does take that away a little bit because you've got all these dirt sheets talking about rumors and some of the rumors are true. And yeah, I totally agree. Kind of double-edged sword with that one. So bring it back to death matches and kind of the last question, at least that I have for you. Um, if you have someone that's coming into deathmatch wrestling, and I know you kind of talked about the matches to watch, is there a rivalry that you can think of where it's like, this is the one, this is going to get you hooked on it?
Yes. Um, and especially if someone's gonna initially come into and watch it, it's a nice starter. And it happened in GCW. It was the rivalry between Mance Warner and Effie. That was phenomenal. They did so well of, just how they were friends, and they even, tag team for a little, and like Mance betraying and, just becoming this mega heel, and I'm doing it my way and my way's working, and it worked. I mean, he became champion, and um and that like close to the ending of it being at Cage of Survival 3, where they had that match, which was, you know, a death match. There was fire and a bunch of crazy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like wow, beautiful.
Perfect.
It's definitely a great way to get like, oh, okay, if you like it, because it's not it's enough ultra violence to be like, okay, maybe let me get a little bit more. Let me get a little second, kind of like a Pringle, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
okay, let
Yep,
me have a
exactly.
couple more. I think I like this. Let me try it a little more.
Yep, exactly. No, that's awesome. And I love being able to talk to people that have, you know, those different styles that they love. Because I think you could learn so much again about like why does this person love this certain style and why. So that's awesome. So Karlee, I want to give you the last couple of minutes here to plug any of your socials. Where can people find you?
Well, you can find me on TikTok, cakeface underscore Karlee, and Instagram, cakeface underscore Karlee 2.0. I, you know, of course, I talk about deathmatch stuff, independent wrestling. I have a segment where, you know, I'm in class teaching about the types of death matches that exist in this crazy world. I also run a podcast on the X Brand Wrestling YouTube channel called X Brand Wrestling Unleashed that just started not too long ago. And we have more interviews lined up, you know, as we speak and everything. So I'm super hyped about that. And yeah, that's pretty much it with me.
That is awesome. Karlee, thank you so much.
Thank
I want
you. This was so
to,
fun.
yeah, this was great. Just a couple plugs for me. Please follow Friends of the Squared Circle on YouTube, on Facebook, on all the socials. Also, you can find me at Belle to Belle on Facebook. And also, if you take a look at this, where's my hand? My hand is somewhere. Where it says Belle to Belle, I have a TikTok page that I just started. So please follow me on there. Like and subscribe to the channel here. Let me know who you want to see on the show. And again, Karlee, thank you so much for coming on. It was
Thank you
fantastic.
so much for having me.
All right, everybody, we will see you next time.